The model that Keynes used to show his insight about stuck economies included two pieces. One is the idea of planned aggregate expenditure, which we can see by this curve here. And to that curve, Keynes added another line representing all the points where PAE matches GDP, which we call PAE equals Y. Because the model has planned aggregate expenditure on the y-axis and GDP or equivalently actual aggregate expenditure on the x-axis, this line rises at a 45-degree angle from the origin of this graph. The 45-degree line represents an aggregate supply curve. The two lines in Keynesian's model together are often called the Keynesian Cross for the way they intersect. The point of intersection yields the unique equilibrium where planned aggregate expenditure is equal to actual aggregate expenditure. We call this point equilibrium aggregate expenditure. I'm going to demonstrate how to draw a planned aggregate expenditure curve for this practice problem. In the worksheet, there is a graph where you can follow along, and my graph will look a little bit different from this, but it will be essentially the same idea. So we are given that the autonomous expenditure is 200 billion, and as we know and saw from previous videos, this is essentially the quote-unquote y-axis. So, or like the y-intercept. So we are going to start by plotting that. You can go ahead and plot yours. And mine will look, again, a little different, but same thing. So this is my autonomous expenditure, or A. And then after that, the MPC is 0.50. And it asks us to plot the values for actual aggregate expenditure of 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500. As we can see here, these points or these values all increase by 100. And this is essentially income that's increasing by 100. So we can already have a first X value of 100, and we need to find the consumption. Keep in mind this X would be income and this Y would be consumption. So we have this 0.50 that we're going to utilize, which is the MPC, which measures the amount by which consumption increases when income increases. And if income increases by 100, which we just stated, and the MPC is 0.50, then consumption will increase by 50. Essentially, this is 100 times the 0.50, the MPC, will equal the 50 billion. When consumption increases by 50 billion, then so does the planned aggregate expenditure, which is this Y. So it'll be 200 plus the 50 billion, which will be 250. And again, we have our values here that we can already put, which are the ones that we are plotting. And this Y, that is the aggregate, the planned aggregate expenditure, they are all increasing or changing by 50. So 250 plus 50 will be 300. 300 plus 50 will be 350. 350 plus 50, 400. And as we can see, we have our equilibrium here. And 400 plus 50, 450. And we can just go ahead and make a line so we can see a little better. And here is how you draw a planned aggregate expenditure curve given this information.